Welcome back to CBH4K, and this is XCOM 2 Dark Event Threat Tier List. Now, the threat tier list is basically where I just go through and look at the various dark events and see which is more dangerous than the other ones. I'm going to be doing two different lists. One is just regular difficulty, and then there's another one with Dark Horizons, which is all the dark events are permanent, excluding a few exceptions, of course. And to get yourself all caught up in just on top of all of my different tier lists, I would recommend you go through my channel. I think there should be a playlist at the end of this video, so you can pick one and go ahead and go through that one. And if you want to get early notifications of my Dark Horizons tier list, which will be coming up sometime after this one, then I recommend that you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to let yourself get notified when new things get put up on my channel. Now, with that out of the way, let's begin. So, I've organized it into 5 different categories. All the way at the bottom, we have always ignore. Always ignore just basically means you're fine to just treat this as not even a dangerous threat. It's basically, I wouldn't say non-existent, but if you're doing well, or even if you're doing badly, you should be fine if this goes off. In fact, it might actually be a benefit in some cases to let some of these go off in the always ignore. And not so bad, which is basically slightly dangerous. They have the potential to be bad, but only if something else is really wrong with your campaign. Are they sort of a threat? Not even really a threat, but sort of a threat. Then there's dangerous. These can potentially snowball into other problems, but you should be fine if you know what you're doing in dangerous. Then there's terrible. Terrible basically means it's so bad that this goes off, and it's even worse if it's in combination with something else going wrong in your campaign or another dark event that's in terrible or dangerous. So it's basically a threat in various manners. And finally, there's Doomsday. This could be the end of your campaign or really damage it if that goes off or causes a lot of problems. Now, most dark events don't fit into that category, but I will say that some of them can be pretty gnarly mid or early game if you don't stop them from going off. So I would recommend you see Doomsday as not as a ending of your campaign, but a severe hampering of it for at least a few months. A great example of a Doomsday one is Alien Infestation, where you get chrysalids everywhere. It doesn't take place in all missions, but enough of the missions so that, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. If you get hit with a large number of chrysalids early on, it can be, I wouldn't say the end of your campaign, but it can be pretty nasty. You probably won't see this till late game. So you should be fine. You should have the equipment to deal with. But even still, you'll have problems and you'll have to maneuver around them and you'll have to deal with them. It depends on the scenarios. So while I do think it's a Doomsday, I will just lower and put into terrible, because chrysalids have been severely nerfed in XCOM 2. I feel like people complained about chrysalids in the first games, and it's don't make them so OP. Okay, now this is going to be tricky because we got minor breakthrough and major breakthrough. Minor breakthrough, I would say always ignore, because it just gives 2 pips to the Avatar project most of the time for me. It might actually be a little bit more or less for other people, depends on the difficulty. But minor breakthrough is bad, but no, it's if you're doing well in your campaign, you won't really notice it. It's one of those that's kind of, you won't really suffer that much. But I will sort of acquiesce to other people's thinking and say, like, yeah, let's go up to not so bad. And as always, keep in mind that this is all based off of my opinion. If you guys have your own opinion, then I suggest you go in the comment section and leave your opinion there. I do read them. I read pretty much all of them. So feel free to leave a comment telling me what you think of this list and what your own list is. I would say not so bad. Again, the reason I say not so bad for minor is because I do recognize it can be bad if it's combined with something else going on wrong at the time. Or if your campaign you're already just struggling and you would have to do a mission. But honestly, I think you get so much of an early warning that I'm just going to put it in always ignore. It's not a threat. Major is a couple notches higher. I would say it is dangerous. It depends on the situation, as always, but if it hits you at the wrong time, it hits you really hard. One that I'm not too scared about is Alien Infiltrator, which is basically puts a faceless in every mission. And you get mimic beacons off of them if you kill enough of those faceless. So it actually helps you in certain scenarios. So it actually is kind of a benefit. So I would recommend you leave them to just pop up on you. Undying loyalty. Some troopers will come back as zombies. This can fumble your campaign pretty badly early on, so I'll say it can be a doomsday. It depends on the situation. Now I'm going to look and see what else we can. Lightning reflexes for the troopers. Where would I put that? It basically makes them immune to Overwatch. I want to say terrible because you can use other things to take them out. You can blow them up. You can shoot them in cover, and it's not so bad. But here's the thing: Overwatch is a good way to take them out in a surprise attack when you do that. When you come out of stealth. This is the weird part about this one. It's not so bad in certain areas of the game when you have a lot of weapons, you have a lot of ability to deal with them, but it can be terrible early on. So you know what? We'll put it right here in dangerous. But yeah, I think that's good. Dangerous is good. Stiletto rounds, where they cause bleeding effect. Where are those? Because I remember, yes, here they are. There. I would say, actually no. It causes a bit of a bleed, but you'll be fine. So I'd say terrible. It's a terrible thing. It can be a devastating. Actually, no. It's kind of devastating. Hold on. Let me check and see if it's everybody. All of the Advent Troopers. Okay, so some Advent Troopers. That's still pretty bad. Because they don't know specifically which ones. So, yeah, I'd say dangerous. I'd just say dangerous. Actually, terrible. Terrible's fine. Collateral damage basically gives them extra grenades. That is immediately dangerous. Because they will use grenades on you more frequently because they have extra stuff. Counterattack. Advent units have a chance to enter Overwatch on being revealed. That actually helps me. Because they'll leave themselves out in the open sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's bad, but most of the time that's... Actually, yeah. Yeah, just put it right there. This always ignoring. It's fine. Sealed suits basically means they're immune, whereas the sealed ones? Oh, there. They're completely immune to poison, fire, and acid, and they're even immune to ice. I just read that on the wiki. So they're immune to ice. That makes it dangerous. I would say terrible because it severely hampers your ability to deal with them. Return fire. That can be pretty bad. It can really cascade into a series of problems if you're not careful. And we'll put Undying Loyalty like right at the end here because I feel like that one's the most dangerous one out of all of them. Mist Mountains. Mountain Mist. I've never had this one. Some Advent troopers will be carrying blinding grenades. That's what it says in the wiki. I've never had this one. I've had hours and hours of this game, and I've never had this one. I guess not so bad. Blinding grenades are pretty gnarly, but they're not going to end your run. Gone to ground. Black market is closed. For 6 weeks. Yeah, that is pretty bad. That can be really bad. That can end a whole run if you're not careful because you don't have supplemental. You buy a lot of supplemental stuff from the black market to help your campaign out just a little bit. If you're in a bad spot, it'll really wreck your day. If you're in a good spot, it'll slow you down a little bit, but it won't ruin you. Alien Cipher, alien stuff is harder to. Alien Intel, it costs more to use on the campaign. I actually consider that worse than the black market closing. Even though it's temporary, again, it's one of those that slow you down. Slowing you down is not a good thing for you to go through, and especially early on in your campaign. Yeah. And it lasts for a month. A month may not seem like a bad deal, but keep in mind, that's a month of stuff that you're not being able to use. Alien Alloy. They get an extra armor point. Advent troop units. All Advent units. Not alien units. Notice I said Advent units. These are mostly for Advent stuff. Aliens really don't factor in that much into it. But an extra armor point can be a nuisance. So I'll say dangerous. Plus, if you combine it with other stuff, if you combine it with this, and this, and just like a bunch of other things, and Undying Loyalty, you'll have constant problems. Okay, rapid reinforcements. Guarantees reinforcements. It says just on Guerrilla Ops on the wiki. But I would say it's not so... Well, actually, no. Actually, no. I've had a few runs that got destroyed by really powerful reinforcements at the wrong time. Like, once they drop in... Now, bear in mind, I'm putting this all in Iron Man gameplay because I play nothing but Iron Man. So, yeah. Okay. I'll set up a scenario for you. You got 4-man squad. You haven't unlocked the 5th squad member ability yet. Let's call it ability. And you're in an early going mission. you just took out one pod, reinforcements coming in, and you're getting ready to get to another one on the next turn. But another pod just walks in on the map, and they still see you, and they scatter, and the reinforcements come in, and all your squad members miss the shots, and you're just having trouble, and you took out a few of the reinforcements. Now it's just down to one or two, like 2 or 3 troops. But somebody pulls out a grenade, somebody lands a really good shot on one of your guys, a panic happens, you have a cascade of problems. Like, reinforcements can lead to so many issues, especially early on. It can be the end of a campaign. Trust me, I have had entire campaigns just dumpstered because of reinforcements at the wrong time. Just because they reinforced in an early mission and there's nothing they could do to stop it. Vigilance. Where is vigilance? Because I want to talk about vigilance next. Is there no vigilance here? Oh, here it is. Vigilance is an annoyance, but it's only annoyance at the very beginning of a mission. If you know what you're doing, vigilance can be something you always ignore, but I'd say not so bad, because sometimes vigilance can screw things up, and in combination with other stuff, you just don't really want to deal with vigilance. Okay, show of force. Ooh. This is an awkward one. Because I want to put it up high, because it can potentially be dangerous, but I know in some scenarios it won't be so bad, because it depends on how well your campaign is going. But you know what? Let's put it here. I know, as I said, I don't think all that highly, or that the dark events would be all that dangerous, so I wouldn't put them all in the Doomsday category. But yeah, I'd say I'm filling that up pretty quickly. When I start to think about it, like, some of them are really gnarly. Terrible, yeah, this is borderline Doomsday. This is borderline Doomsday. Let me look up how long it lasts. A month. Most of them last a month, but you know what? Boom. It's bad enough that you're getting reinforcements, but add anything. Like, you're getting more enemies on the map, but add anything else. Like, anything else from this list that would happen at the same time. That would be terrible. That would really stink. Viper rounds. They get venom. I put it like the same place as the other one. Like, bleeding and Viper rounds. I don't think you get both of them, I send them, but one of them should still be pretty bad. Signal jamming. It increases your scan time. Oof. I once had both of these at the same time. I think, yeah. I don't remember which campaign it was, but I just remember it being a massive hassle. So yeah, that's in. I keep putting stuff in there. All right, collectors. Yeah. Collectors, it depends on your chosen situation. If you can deal with the chosen regularly, then I'd say this is dangerous, but it's sort of manageable. Like, I'll put it right here. It's manageable, if you catch my drift. It's not impossible. to deal with. Lost World. So loss could occur basically on any mission. And basically it means every mission. You'll always be dealing with lost. I would put that right here with infestation because it depends on your situation. But actually, you know what? I just realized how annoying lost are. So I'll put it up here. Unless you have specific abilities to deal with them, like the Ranger ability, like the Reaper ability to insta kill any loss with one shot. Okay, it's not so bad, but for the most part, yeah, that can lead to some issues. It can lead to some real issues. UFO hunting you. UFO hunting you. It's terrible. If you know what you're doing, you can avoid it. You can avoid it. You can have ways to hamper it and protect yourself. So let's look at it up on the thing here. Because a UFO hunting you is nasty, but I don't think a UFO will be the end of you if you know what you're doing. Like it's a permanent one, so it'll only get resolved if you fight it. I think it has disappeared on me on occasion. I don't remember when, but it did disappear on me. Here's the reason why I'm so hesitant not to put it higher. If you know what you're doing, it's not a problem. It's just a mission. It's just a mission you have to deal with it. It's an exceedingly long mission, and you can lose the campaign. Like, in Iron Man mode, you will be given a gracious restart by the nice people at Firaxis to try it again, but if you're in like a soft lock in a really bad spot and there's like nothing you can do on that reload, then it's basically, yeah, you lost the campaign. If anything, it makes it more awkward. You know what? Boom. It has to go into Doomsday. It can lead to so many problems if you're not prepared for it. I said loss is worse. Yeah, it can lead to so many problems if you're not prepared for it. Bending Reed. It makes stun lancers even more annoying, so it goes to terrible. But it only works on stun lancers. It basically means they can leave once they perform a melee attack. Like, stun lancers are already a problem. That just adds an extra layer of problems to them. Like I'm already targeting stun lancers first off. But Bending Reed makes them even more dangerous. Like, yeah. I don't know if I want to put it higher. The reason I don't want to put it higher, and I'll let you guys know. The reason I want to put it higher is because... Okay. So I put this higher. What... Stun Lancers are... I wouldn't say a rare enemy, but they're not what I call a usual enemy. Like, okay. 9, like... If you got hit by 5 enemies, like 2 of them are usually Stun Lancers, 3 of them are something else. That's even in the early game, mid game, late game. But Stun Lancers, yeah, they're stupid annoying. You know what? Stun Lancers are at the you're at the top now. Just thinking about it. High Alert. You will not be concealed at your mission start. I consider that high, not so bad. It ruins, takes away an event, your conceal mechanic away from you, but it's fine. You can deal with that. I forgot the name of this one. This is one where you get a new base built. Is that right? No, Aspire and a Fly. Ambushes on all covert actions. Ooh. Yeah, that's terrible. That means you gotta do a mission. Yeah. Anything that adds a new mission is a problem, but yeah, that's terrible. That could really. But if you know what you're doing, you can probably work with that. Left behind all. Ooh. There is a risk of capturing all covert actions. Yeah, that's even worse. Because you don't even get a chance to resist that one. I consider that one terrible. Because if it gets a really good soldier, like I would suggest you start using like useless trash troops to go on these covert actions, because they'll get captured. No, who cares? There's a lot of ways to neutralize it, but you'll be fine. Made whole. No, thank you. I consider that not as bad as stun lancers, but it's still pretty bad. Still one of the worst things that can happen to you. I was pointing the wrong one. Is still one of the worst things that happen to you. Is like all their weakness gone. That's super awful. Like especially if you're struggling against the Chosen in your campaign. Oof. Wild Hunt, Chosen more likely to appear. That's terrible, but you can mitigate that if you've been fighting Chosen pretty well. If you know the weaknesses and your weaknesses are benefits to you, it can be terrible, but you can work with it. Okay, now this is where any Chosen gains information about XCOM. A portion of it is passed along to that Chosen as well. This is what Honor Among Thieves for all three of them. I would say it depends on how you see them all. Okay, let's start with the Sniper. Not so bad. He's kind of like, yeah, I'm not scared of you. Warlock. Here's the thing about Warlock. I try to get rid of him early, so I'll put him in terrible. Actually, I'll put him in dangerous because I'll try to get rid of him early. The Huntress, she's always one of the first ones dead. So again, I'll put her in. I'll put her in dangerous. She's slightly worse than the Warlock because I can't find her on the map. She's invisible. There's a lot of trickiness to deal with her. She's very tricky. So I'll say she's terrible when she gets it because you're gonna have to do a mission against her. Barrier, psychic, and enemy tech doubled. Defense is doubled. Yeah, that's pretty bad, but it only lasts for a while, so it's terrible, but it's not the worst one. I'd say dangerous. It can be dangerous, but there's a lot worse that could go wrong on that one. See, I think this is Informant. Is this Informant? Actually, no, new construction. A new alien base has been constructed. Basically, reduces the alien facility counter by a certain number. Yeah, and this is Resist Informant. So basically, they reduced the number. This is not so bad. It actually enables you to reduce get you another mission. It depends on. Actually, no. Let's say dangerous. I say it's dangerous because you're gonna have to deal with it anyway. So it coming up faster might be better for you. Depends on the situation. it might actually be worse for you. Again, that one's much more situational dependent. So is this one. But for the most part, it's just, you're going to have to do that mission anyway. And it's going to come up quicker. That's all that really means. You can, if you know what you're doing, you can make that less of a hassle. This increases the cost of recruits. I always ignore it. You get recruits so easily from like scanning things or doing a mission. You get more recruits that you can get recruits from black market. That shouldn't be a problem. Not a major problem like the other ones can be, but yeah, I can see that spiraling out of control. Let's see what these last two ones are. I kind of remember them, but I kind of don't. Dark Tower. That's what this one is. XCOM will suffer greater losses to will and... Ooh. Will... That is a will problem. Here's the thing about all of these. If you know what you're doing, they can be mitigated. This is just in general. But at the same time, if you don't know what you're doing, Dark Tower can really mess up your day. I'd say we'll put it like in the middle here. Because if you don't have psychic troops, it's not an issue. But if the warlock is coming at you regularly and you're having trouble with other problems and you're getting psychic troops on that mission, yeah, it can be pretty nasty. Advent rule checkpoints. It reduces the supply given to resistance supply drops. So basically, your monthly income is reduced. That is bad, but that only lasts for a few. Drops. So it messes up your money, but you can get money at other places. You can get supplies at other places. You're fine. It's not so bad. You can deal with it. Basically, they go from left to right. The bottom is the worst as well. Like, the left side is easier. The right side is the hardest. You get the drift. So, what do you guys think of my list? Leave a comment, like I said before. And if you like this video and you want to see more, then hit the like button. The YouTube algorithm likes that, and it'll send you more videos like this in your homepage and in your various other places that you will look on for YouTube. Yeah, the algorithm is all powerful. The algorithm sees all. Alright, thank you so much for stopping by. It was a delight to have you here. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.